All right. Good evening, everyone. Hopefully, you are having a wonderful night. All right. Today, I'll be discussing the MTA's transition from MetroCards to the new OMNY Card payment system. That's right. The MTA has a new OMNY Card payment system. So, the MTA has announced that the Metro card sales will end by the end of this year, marking the conclusion of the 32-year-old fare payment system. While new Metro cards won't be sold in 2026, existing cards will remain functional for an unspecified period afterward. Now, let's get into Omni. Omni's machines will be available at every subway station by the fall of 2025. That's this year. And currently, 85% of full fare riders use the Omni. Only 55% of reduced fare riders, students, seniors, use the Omni, as these discounts were only recently added and implemented. Overall, Omni accounts for 65% of subway and bus trips. Now, so the payment options are most Omni users pay with their credit cards or their cell phones. And instead of monthly or weekly passes, Omni offers what's called fare capping. So, what that means is after 12 trips within a single Monday to Sunday, the additional rides after that are free. So your fare is capped at whatever $3 times 12 is. So that's $36 a week. And now you multiply that times four. So 36 times 2 is 72, times 2 is 144. So the most you'll ever pay for the New York subway system, $144. All right. So this system prevents $40 million from being unused MetroCard fares that riders were previously losing. So that's a good thing. This is a benefit to the community. So there were several implementation challenges with Omni, of course, as with any government project in America these days. In this case, it's the usual suspects. Um, so the Omni Card project exceeded its budget um, because the contractor Cubic changed ownership. Then there were COVID-19 related delays that impacted the timelines. Also, the contract changed from both Cubic and MTA contributed, which contributed to cost overruns. Um, Cubic lost its contract for fare modernization on the LIRR and Metro North. So there's that. That's something. So what a mess. In any case, transit advocates had hoped Omni would enable all door boarding on city buses, which would significantly speed up bus service because then you could just pay. You could just pay from the back. That was so much easier. I don't know why they stopped doing that. However, the MTA has declined to implement this policy, citing high fare evasion rates on buses. And I'm like, well, that would make it faster whenever I got on the back of the bus. Um, if the Omni machine was working, I paid. If it wasn't working, then I didn't pay. So that's something to consider. Um, yeah. So there you go. So let's look here. There's some other news items here. Um, so we got Jano Lieber and the MTA here. You know, uh, they're going to share the subway crime data with the federal government because Trump is complaining about it, and so is Sean Duffy, who really doesn't have any experience with transportation, but the crime is on the subway. it is out of control, but I don't think they're gonna, they're like, oh, we're gonna withhold funding if we can't. And I was like, that's gonna help. That's not gonna help. That's gonna be the opposite of help. That's actually gonna make the problem worse. Uh, Taking away the financing from the MTA. So, um, so in any case, Sean Duffy put out a weird video. I'll play like 10 seconds of it here. Let's see. Okay, I'm not going to play the whole thing. You have to watch it for yourself on Streets Blog or on the Twitter page where he posted it. Um, so, so he says they're going to withhold funding if the MTA doesn't fix the crime. I'm like, withholding funding is not going to fix the crime. It's going to make the crime worse. Um, so, like these people, these politicians posturing and then coming out with worse ideas than what's already implemented doesn't make sense. But that's what they do. So, Amtrak's CEO also he resigned on Wednesday because of all the shenanigans with the Trump administration and Elon Musk being crazy. Elon Musk trying to fire him, like even though he's doing a good job with Amtrak. So, you know, they fire people who are doing a good job because Elon has his own motivations trying to force people to buy those shitty those shitty swastika cars. Yeah, those horrible things. Nobody should want that. A car, it's going to break down. The Cybertruck recalled all of it because they cheaped out on the parts and even the glue. They went cheap on that. So the car's falling apart on the left and the right side. The Cybertruck, nope, don't buy it. Don't buy. In any case, so the MTA is going to replace some subway benches with leaning bars. I think a lot of this is to try and prevent people from using the subway system as a homeless shelter. Um, and look, I don't think people should be living in the subway system. I think they should be living in apartments or shelters and stable living situations. Okay, shelters aren't stable, but they should be living in apartments or some kind of stable living situation. In any case, so next thing here we have Queensboro President Donovan Richards supporting better greenways up in Queens. That's good. I don't know why politicians can't get support for something as simple and easy as a greenway. I don't know why. They have the same thing going on with the Harlem River Greenway by the Bronx, and they're like spinning their wheels and getting nothing done. And that is the frustrating part. It's like we can't do anything. So I'm always happy to hear when politicians are going to come out and support. And hopefully they'll add, a lot more support, politically and get these greenways built and done so we can stop talking about it and we can start enjoying it now. All right. Then we have Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg got a long prison sentence for this two drivers who did a 2023 hit and run of that Jose Quintana. He was like a delivery cyclist, I believe. And yeah, they hit him, and so I guess the drivers have to pay. That's good news. Or well, okay, quote unquote, good news. So so they got some Jens Voigt. She's going to ride the 5 borough bike tour on May 4th. So she's a celebrity in the cycling community. So we love to see that. And then Last but not least, yes, McGinnis Boulevard back in the news because Bradley Lander, a mayoral candidate, and Zoran Mamdani, also a mayoral candidate, both for New York City, applying for the same job. They are have signed a pledge that they will fix McGinnis Boulevard in Brooklyn all the way. They will do a complete safety redesign, no cutting the corners like Eric Adams did to appease special interest and big donor interests. So, this is wonderful news. All right. Well, I hope you all are having a wonderful evening and let's make it a great night. Have a good rest and have a good morning tomorrow. All right. Oh, and one more thing. Remember, micromobility and public transportation provide the freedom that cars can only promise. Oh.